I heard about Wilberforce, as I seem to have heard about hundreds of great things, first through a guy named Chuck Colson. When we're talking about William Wilberforce, we have to understand that, and obviously in my book, Amazing Grace, I go into all of this stuff, but the story of Wilberforce is a man who, he never would have done any of what he did without his profound faith in Jesus Christ. There have been statesmen and great men and who didn't have that faith, but if you're going to study Wilberforce and talk about Wilberforce, you cannot divorce the man from his faith. And that you've heard about the slave trade, but the everything else, that if God removes the blinders from your eyes so that you see what he sees, then the brokenness of that culture, the worst part of it was the slave trade, but there was a host of other horrors. So it's a completely different perspective to say, I will fight with passion, as Wilberforce did against abolition and against the slave trade and against so many things, but I will do it in such a way that those people who are my political enemies will see more than just William Wilberforce. They will be forced perhaps to see God standing behind me, who's a lot scarier than me, a lot bigger. And they will not just see some partisan ideologue, but they'll see somebody fighting in a way that it will embarrass them with its civility and graciousness. It took courage so that 200 years later, everybody says, well, of course slavery is wrong. What, are you kidding? Of course. Well, no, not of course. It took bravery. We need to understand that's real leadership, is playing to the audience of one, which is to say God.